Alright, ladies, gentlemen, gamers of all kinds, welcome back to everyone's favorite bi-weekly show, the Chris Allen Patch Notes, where you, local viewer, yes you, can peer into the mind of Chris Allen and what he thinks on League of Legends. Anyway, we got 12.8 here. I'm pretty sure this isn't the one MSI is on, or is it? I don't know. I thought the last one was, but I guess we'll see. But I'm expecting a lot of things here. Excuse me, because I know a lot of things are coming. A lot of reworks, mid-scope reworks for certain characters. A lot of updates, and some juicy skins. Now, I don't think this is the patch with the pass coming out. I think that's next one, because next one is High Noon. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Patch 12.8. MSI. Oh, wait. This is old. Wait, what? Wait, is this not the right patch? What the fuck? This is not the right patch. Are the patch notes not out? Bro, they're not out on the client. Wow. Yo, this has been a common occurrence for Riot now. Hold on. I need to update the title on Twitch and everything. 12.9. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's get Google up. Alright, fucking stupid League of Legends always doing this shit. Fucking Riot. Anyway, here is the real one. Wow! 12.9, not 12.8. So I was right. The last one was the one that MSI is being played on. So this one is not the one. But we still have some pretty hefty changes, because usually they like to keep it pretty tame for MSI, and then once MSI is over, then they'll go, well, over as in the next patch comes out, because they're going to be playing on patch 12.8 for a while. Then they'll go a little crazy, because it's the mid-season and they need to keep League fresh, so they need to update it so people don't get sick of this game and learn it's a toxic cesspool. So, let's see, patch 12.9. New challenges approach. It's time for patch 12.9. And with it, the launch of our brand new challenges system. I'll talk about that. Complete them to prove that you really are the best of the best. Which I am. For ADC at least. Make sure to brace yourself for more axes and rocks, because the mid-scope updates of Olaf and Talia are live for this patch. I don't know how I feel about them spacing out the mid-season updates. Yo, Slayer, man. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to be at the beginning of June. I did beat Elden Ring. It might be sooner than you think. I know you have summer school now, but I was thinking about starting up Pokemon soon. I just really got to think if I'm going to do a Nuzlocke. But anyway, I'm doing League patch notes now, so I got to focus on that. But we'll see. I don't know, though. Don't get your hopes up, but we'll definitely see. Anyway, I like that they're... I like and dislike that they're spacing out the Olaf, Talia, and Swain reworks. Did they rework anyone else? I don't think they did. But rather than have them all in one patch, which I also would have liked, I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't mind that either. I don't mind that it's a little split up, because it's good to space out content and not just drop 3 new reworked champions. I count them as kind of new champions at this point. Kind of, but not really. To not have the game just be overloaded with information. Like, it's better to space it out than to have it all come at once. I actually don't mind this. So, other challenges we'll be tackling in this edition of Patch Notes include zombies running into towers. Does that have anything to do with Yorick? Capitalist Chem Baron monopolies. I guess Chem Baron is getting nerfed. Or Chem Tank, or whatever the fuck it's called. Foxes dashing around the rift. They're nerfing Ari. A not-so-jolly mustachioed man. Is that Graves? And Cowboys rootin' tootin' and by God shootin' in my ranked games. Make sure to follow MSI and Busan, where group stages will be kicking off today. Oh, shit. May 10th. I thought it was May 8th. We'll be releasing the EDG skin line in celebration of their 2021 World Championship win. And I'll talk about those skins, too. So, and then we have TFT here, which I do not care about. So, new skins. The whole EDG line. This patch is fucking fat with skins. This one is like huge cock with skins. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 skins here from the EDG line, which I'll give you a little spoiler right now. They're really good. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another 6 skins in the High Noon line. So that brings this patch's total to 11 skins, plus the Leona skin is a legendary. And we're getting a Prestige Talent skin. And I would argue the Mordekaiser skin is crazy. But we'll get into that at the end, when we get into the skins. But anyway, let's see when they're coming out. They're coming out May 12th. So those are coming out in 2 days. As will EDG skins as well. Okay, so we just have to wait 2 days for those. Those are fine. That's nice. That's nice. Anyway, challenges. Let's talk about these. Challenges track your overall progress within the league across a ton of categories. Build your legacy through over 300 unique challenges that celebrate the champs you've mained, modes you've conquered, plays you've made, stuff you've collected. Basically, they're putting stat tracking to almost everything. And they're adding achievements. It's kind of like a mix of both, but we'll get over that. We'll go over that. Show off the challenges you're most proud of with the titles and tokens. You can see how you measure up in your region with regional leaderboards. And now you can finally hit Challenger in something except for rank, because people suck. No matter how you play, there's a challenge for you. Learn more in our full rundown. Let me just take a look at this really quickly. Okay, this is too much for me to fucking go over. However, it's good to have pictures on screen. So basically, this is what this shit looks like. As you can see, you can also see on the loading screen, finally. So as you can see here, they updated a lot of the looks. I think this looks better, personally, than the old shit. But it also shows you, you know, just numbers. People like numbers. Oh, look at the end screen. This shit looks nice, too. But in terms of the challenges themselves, I mean, look at this, right? This is literally just like an achievement. Take Baron before 21 minutes. Like, that's something you get once and that's it. There's other challenges, which I believe you can, like, keep stacking, like this. I'm not too sure. Basically, the way I see it is these challenges are just things to do. And Riot has been leaning into, like, hey, we want to have you express yourself more. Look, they even added an identity menu. Look at that. We want you to express yourself more and have something else to work on if you don't play ranked, which I like the idea of. They're making casual, it's still casual, but now you can work towards something in casual modes aside from just playing, which I like. Anything to show how long you've been playing this stupid-ass game and wasting your life is good, in my opinion. Like, if I have something that someone else doesn't, it makes me feel better about myself. Because God knows I don't feel like that in my life. So, overall, I think they're good. I just don't like how this is such a big thing. I mean, hey, you know, advertise it. If they spend time on it, sure, but I want things that matter. Like, Clash, in my opinion, was one of the best things to happen to League, but you need a team for it. I want something aside from ranked, which they did even add to ranked. They added the ranked splits, which then had their separate rewards for just playing and winning. You don't even have to be a certain rank. You just win and you get rewards. It's just the problem is the rewards are shitty. This is the problem as well with the honor system. Honor system finally gives you a reason to be honorable. It gives you rewards. It's just the rewards are fucking shitty. So I want them to add some way to get actually good rewards. These are a good step, but this isn't something I'll be, like, fiending over. Maybe it'll be something to do, yeah, but, like, I'm not going to play if there's not a pass out just to do the challenges. I'm not doing that. These are more of, like, an afterthought or something you'll do if you have, like, nothing better to do or you're bored. Like, who knows? A lot of people probably in higher elos and stuff won't even care about this. This is more targeted towards the casual low elo audience, which is fine because that's the majority of the audience. But this isn't even something they can monetize, which I'm not saying they should. Or they will, I don't know. But, excuse me. Overall, I think this is good. It's just a little confusing how they did it with the titles and tokens, but I'm pretty sure people will pick it up pretty quickly. I think it's nice to have a little title. I think it's good. Anyway, moving on to the champions that got updated. Olaf. What do I think of Olaf? I think Olaf is very one-dimensional. I think he basically is on the same level to me as the junglers who have one job, do that one job, and then do nothing else. Except Olaf is a little bit better than that, and I'll explain why. Old Olaf. I'm going to go over the new one soon. But old Olaf, I basically see as two things. An early game snowballer, he's sort of like Tryndamere. If you fight an Olaf early, you should lose. Unless maybe you're even Tryndamere, but even then. Olaf early is so good. Which then leads to the second part of what I think Olaf is he's just an ulti bot. Later in the game, your main thing is to either engage fights with your ulti and try and kill someone, or just engage the fights because, you know, you can't be stopped, and that's how you get the fight started, and they have to deal with you initially. After that, I think Olaf is useless. I think Olaf's strongest point is A, when he's ulting, or B, in the early game when almost no one can beat him. After that, he loses the early game prowess, much like Pantheon and Lee Sin. So he just becomes an ulti bot. He's only relevant if his ult is up, unless you're the ADC. So at that point, once your ult is gone as Olaf, you kind of do nothing. You kind of just sit there like, hey guys, you know, I'm still here, I'm slowing you, but then you just get smacked in the mouth and killed. If you're not fed. If you're fed, it's a different story, but if anyone's fed, it's a different story. So anyway, they're changing him, and I think they should. Let's see what they're doing. Despite Olaf's popularity in Pro because he's really good early, he's been one of the least main champions in League for a while now, yeah, because not only is he, like, only good early, he's super boring. The flexibility of Ragnarok as an engage or escape and his fast clear speed make him the ultimate example of a champ that walks the fine line of OP in Pro and stupid in regular. So this mid-scope update, we're aiming to shift some of his power away from his clear speed and into the tools that will help players feel stronger and in more control of Olaf's survivability, aka the ult I'm hoping, as he rides the edge of disaster at low health, which if you don't know, Olaf gets better at low health, much like Tryndamere. There's a lot of similarities between Olaf and Tryndamere, in my opinion. These changes should not only help better define Olaf's identity as a berserker, which was Tryndamere's, but also allow him to take a new place as a viable top laner, which I always considered Olaf top, the main Olaf. I think that kind of fell out of favor just because he has a better jungle clear. His jungle clear is so fast. So, what are they doing? 80 growth is up. Cool. So that means he's gaining a little bit more AD at 18. Nice. Health growth is up, which is up by 5. So 5 times 18, well, 5 times 10 is 50. So that's like what? 90 extra health. Cool. And then mana growth is up. Cool. So he has more base stats. Nice. And also, I don't know if it's in this one. I think it's in the other one. They would have mentioned it already. They're like massively going to change durability in League because they don't like how like squishy everything is and damage creep is a thing. But we'll talk about that in the next patch when that comes up. So anyway, passive. Berserker Rage. So the max attack speed is not 99. It now is weaker early but scales up, which is probably good because now this hurts his jungle clear. So Berserker Rage now provides 10 to 30% lifesteal based on Olaf's missing health. That's really good. And then Mad Math. Bonus max health at 0%, or bonus maxes out at 0% health to 30. That's a pretty big buff. The fact that you had to get below 30 to get the max, and now they're putting it at 30 is very big. That's super good. Super good. Undertow, the Q. So they're raising the cooldown, which is kind of sad. I hope they keep the reset, but let's see. Damage is going down early. Minimum range is going up, which might be a good or bad thing because you kind of want to have it stay close to you to pick it up so quickly. I'm seeing a lot of nerfs so far. The mana cost is going down, which is good. So they want you to be able to spam, even though it does less, which is how it should be. So, what's the new thing they're adding? Undertow now shreds armor. Wow. And then the subsequent axes won't add to it, they'll refresh it. That's actually insane. He can shred tanks. Holy fuck. So, picking up axes now fully refunds the cooldown, but axes can only be thrown a maximum of once every 3 seconds. Note the 3-second limit scales with ability haste. That's so weird. What? What? So why does it fully refund it? It doesn't. That makes no sense. What the hell? Include a quality of life buff to Olaf's Q so that it grants ghosting more consistently to jungle monsters who he hits. What the fuck? Okay, that's weird. I think if they didn't have the 3-second time limit, this would be a great change. The fact that the Q's weaker and there's no time limit, I mean, then you would just get perma-slowed, let's be honest. But I don't know. Does the Q still slow? I think it does. I don't know if they took it out. But yeah, I don't know. That seems a little weird. The Q seems a little worse, honestly. Except for the armor pen. The armor pen's insane. So W, tough it out. So they changed the name. The cooldown is going down now at scales, which is really good. I think this is one of his like funnest abilities. So I guess they're not changing the E. The E is just the true damage. That's fine. But the cooldown at all ranks is going down pretty good. The attack speed is getting lessened, which is why the cooldown is going down. It's not an oppressive ability. The duration is 4 seconds, which is kind of ass. But W counts as an auto attack reset, which is really big for trades. And on activation, he now gains a shield? Oh my god. And then you don't grant lifesteal because you have it on the passive now. And then it no longer amplifies his health, his healing. Which is kind of bad. I think they should have kept that. But I mean, he gets a shield for it. I don't know. I like the fact that Olaf becomes unkillable the lower he is. It kind of adds to the fantasy of, like, as much as he wants to... Because this is playing on his lore. As much as he wants to get close to death, he won't die because of, like, the prophecy that was foretold about him. That he'll, like, die comfortable in a bed, which he does not want, which is funny. So finally, onto the ult, which is probably the biggest change for him. So the bonus AD is going down more, which is fine, but it scales better later, which is, I guess, okay. It gets more base damage. The duration is getting cut in half, which sounds really bad. And then the passive resists are going even more down, so they don't want him lasting as long, because I guess he has the shield. I don't know if that makes up for it, though. But now he keeps the resistances, I guess, forever, like on or off. If the ult is on or off, he has them. And hitting a champion with a basic attack or E, so not Q, extends the duration of Ragnarok to 2.5 seconds. And he can refresh it indefinitely. So basically, as long as you don't die and the enemy doesn't have like an escape, you can just run them. Unless they kill you or they can like escape, you are running them. I really like this change. This makes, in my opinion, Olaf fun. Not for ADCs, mind you, but Olaf fun in general because he is going to just run people down and he needs to be stopped. If you play Olaf, you are probably going to fucking... like, you have to almost int, basically. You have to go with the mindset, I am not stopping until one of us dies. And that is fucking hilarious. Excuse me. But overall, looking at all of the stats and stuff, I think this is an okay change. I want to see Olaf top come back, but I think this still makes his jungle okay. I think overall Olaf is probably going to be funner. This is good. Talia! So Talia is kind of weird. She was really good, then they took away her big parts of her kit, aka the AoE. And Talia's already a weird champion because she's combo heavy and she needs to scale. And she has to play around the work ground, which is weird. But the biggest thing they did was take away her AoE. That was like the main thing, I think, that transitioned her from mid to jungle. And because the passive is meant for roaming anyway. If you could roam, then you could go jungle. But I think that I'm not the person to really talk on this. It's mostly Adrian because he's a Talia main. But I've talked to him about it, and he said this thing is great. This thing is really exciting for him. So let's read. Get ready to rock and roam because the one and only Stoneweaver is ready to rumble. Talia has been struggling to find footing on the Rift, not only in mid, definitely in mid. She hasn't found anything in mid. She's not played mid. But in the jungle as well, which is her main role now. Not to mention the mechanical complexity and punishing nature of her kit. Yeah, because if you miss one thing, basically the way her old kit worked is, if you landed the combo, you really did burst someone, but I honestly think that's mostly for single target. You could do it multi, but that was very rare. It was very rare for you to hit multiple targets with your like WE combo. However, I think the Q is the bread and butter of her kit. I think the fact that single target still sucks, but when I think of Talia, I think the best part and funnest part of her kit is how to position, which is already hard enough for a lot of League players, and just slamming people with like little pebbles that just chunk them. It's so cool. Like, Talia to me is like a more advanced Xerath because you really need to be good with positioning. Not only with when you're hitting the enemy, but where you're queuing as well. Like, Talia I think is so fucking hard, which for the benefit you get out of playing her correctly, I don't think it's enough. But that's why they're reworking her, hopefully, to make her easier or to make her better. Let's see. For Talia's update, we really want to focus on making her more fun because she's too fucking hard. especially for players who've been playing her frequently because the payoff is not good enough. Reviving her presence in mid and increasing the amount of forgiveness in her kit. We're hoping these changes make up for things and give her a clean slate to start anew. So the base health is going down. Interesting. Regen's going down. Regen growth is going down. Mana's going up. Okay, we got something good there. Mana regen's going down. Mana growth is going down. Armor is going way down. Oh my god. She has 18 base armor. She's like paper. I mean, she is a little girl, but like she's like paper. Holy fuck. And then the move speed's going down. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Okay, so I think based that why she's fucking Garbo. So, like, she's gonna get killed by any assassin on the block. Oh my god. Out of combat move speed. So it's from 20 to 45. Now it's worse, but I guess scales better, which I don't know how I feel about that. Passive fall off time is now longer, which is really good. I feel like the passive fall off time was so short. Having it go to from 1 to 2.5, that's like over a double buff. Like that's they're more than doubling the time, which is great. That's actually a great change. Her passive should feel better now. Really good. Oh my god, look how much we have to fucking get through. And it's already been 21 minutes. What the fuck? Okay, Q. The mana's going up. The cooldown's going down, which is really good. The 1 rock damage is going down. The damage reduction from subsequent rocks is going up, so you're doing less damage the more you hit them. The 5 rock damage is going way down from 500 base, 510 base to 338 base. That's insanely bad. Damage reduction from subsequent hits is way worse. What? They're nerfing Talia jungle so hard. They do not want her in the jungle. Holy shit. Okay. Each stone shard now deals an additional whatever damage against monsters. Okay, so she could still jungle. Never mind. Stone shards now deal damage in a 175 radius area of effect. Approximately 1.6 Teemos. Why do they calculate it in Teemos? But that's good. She has a AoE, I guess, a little bit. Threaded Volley will now continue to cast while Talia is in stasis. That is insane that didn't do that before. That means you can Q Zanya's and the Q will still go off. It didn't do that before. That is garbage. Wow, Talia was really bad. Casting Threaded Volley on Workground now consumes the Workground to fire a single boulder that deals double damage? Wait, so why did they say the 1 rock damage? Oh, if you only hit 1. Oh, I get it. Okay. Damn. So you basically create a giant kill boulder that deals double the damage, which is a big chunk, and slows all targets in 225 AoE, and it scales. Oh my god, okay. Mana cost on Workground is going from 1 to 20. That's fair because it's actually an ability. Now you're not just throwing out 1 pebble. And then minimum cooldown on Workground, 0.75. What the fuck does that mean? Workground duration from 25 to 30. That's good to last longer so you could actually use the boulder. Workground radius is going up because you ideally do want to be in it sometimes now. And then the size of Workground on Howling Abyss now matches Summoner's Rift. Okay, that's good, I guess, for whoever the fuck plays ARAM. And then Q Threaded Volley casts on Workground now has a new VFX SFX animation icon. So this is probably the biggest change they're going to do. I think this is great. The fact that she now has her AoE back and has another AoE nuke that's bigger, really fucking good. I think Talia should just spam, and then the fact that she's able to just throw a big rock at you. This solves most of her problems in a more creative way. And it gives her more options. I like it. And she has slow now on her Q. That's really good. I think this is really fucking good. Seismic Shove costs way less mana, eventually becomes 0, so this becomes a free move. The cooldown is a lot lower, which is great. The knock-up radius is bigger, which is great. Time delay before knock-up, it's a little bit of a time now. Which I thought it was before, but I guess not. But it no longer deals damage. That's fine. That's fine. Because of the next change, the E. So the cooldown is going up by 4 seconds. Holy shit, that's a lot. Damage on initial cast is way higher. Oh my god. The initial cast actually hurts now. The slow strength is now just static, which is good. The boulder, detonation damage is worse early, better later. The damage reduction per boulder is a little higher to compensate, so you don't get actually one shot. The maximum detonation damage is going slightly down, but it has a way worse scaling, so kind of down. Delay between casting and spawning first row is 0, so they all come out, I guess. Okay, so the E now spawns 6 rows of boulders, extending out with 4 boulders per row. Previously spawned 4 rows of boulders with 6 boulders per row. So what does this mean exactly? So it's longer. It's thinner, but it's longer. So actually this makes you more safe. Instead of covering a wider area in front of you, it covers a further area, which is great. I think that's good because now you can actually poke with the initial cast of it. And now boulders stun enemies that dash through them. Note that the max stun duration is 2 seconds and monsters are always stunned for the max duration. Oh my god. That's insane. So not only are you knocking them up, you can stun them, or if they go through it themselves, they stun themselves. This is insane. This ability is crazy. If you teamfight anywhere in the jungle with this, like, this is crippling towards enemy. This is going to scare the shit out of people. This E-change is, like, as good as the Q, if not better. Wow. That's insane. E and Reveler no longer detonates to deal additional damage after 4 seconds. So it just goes away. So you have to proc it either with the W or by them dashing. If you don't do it, then it just does the initial and that's it. That's insane, though, that it stuns. Wow. Wow. For the duration of the dash, plus a scaling-like amount. Wow. Okay, so Weaver's Wall, what are they doing to the ult? The ult's range is getting nerfed early, increased late, that's fine. Dash range when jumping off the wall is a lot higher, so you can, I guess, take more distance. Dash speed while jumping off the wall is a little higher, okay. Moving Talia while she is riding in Weaver's Wall now causes Talia to dash to the location clicked, up to the maximum dash range instead of dropping her perpendicular. So she actually jumps off the damn thing. Dashing when jumping off the wall is now more forgiving when trying to dash through terrain, so you can actually hop over shit. Holy fuck. Damage from enemy champions or structures now prevents Talia from casting R for 3 seconds, which I think is fair. But it no longer knocks her off, so you can actually get away and they can't do anything. If you hit her, she's still leaving. That is probably the biggest change here. The biggest change here is that if you hit her, she can't get knocked off. So this is actually an escape. Granted, if you get hit before you're able to cast it, you can't do it. But once you're on it, unless you're dying, you're good. That's really good. Holy shit. What is this bug? I just peeped this. I was going to skip this. Fixed a bug where Talia would sometimes lose her passive permanently if she had a spell shield active. What the? That's not a bug. That's a fucking... That's like a nerf. Fixed a bug where Talia would sometimes not get reduced cooldown on her Q when on work ground. That is terrible. These are core things to her kit that weren't working. That's insane. So anyway, I think overall the Talia and Olaf changes are good. I think the Talia changes are a lot better than the Olaf ones, honestly. These are exciting. But anyway, since we spent a grand total of like 29 minutes on that shit, let's try and speed with the rest of it, because we're still at the beginning. Ari, this bitch is, from what I've been told, ridiculous. I don't think she's that bad. I think any mid laner that doesn't put out a certain amount of damage, which Ari doesn't, isn't that good. But I guess her mobility really does carry her, so she's getting nerfed. I mean, we all know she's getting nerfed. Because she has resets too. It must be a nightmare in pro play. Ari's been getting a lot of playtime since her update. She's incredibly consistent in making picks and assassinating carries. Yeah, because anyone can assassinate them, especially people with mobility. All while remaining relatively safe, which is what they wanted. And just out of reach. We're lowering the uptime on her CC and dashes. So let's see what they're doing. The cooldown of the E is a little longer. I mean, that's fine. It doesn't really change much. And then the cooldown of her ult is up by 10 seconds. I mean, it's a little nick, but Ari's still Ari. I think she's still the same. Braum. I think Braum is still ass. I think he doesn't really do anything or get played enough because other supports do his job better. It's very hard to do a good job as Braum. It's very hard. It's almost not worth the payout. And Braum used to be really good because he had the spell shield with his giant shield. But, like, I feel like it's not really that important anymore. It doesn't really matter. So let's see what they're doing. Everyone's favorite Poro Protector has been feeling a little left out in the cold recently. Not that he cares. We're hoping to bring a smile back to his glorious mustache and the Poros, beefing up his protective power. So, oh my god. I almost choked. Anyway, so the passive per target cooldown is getting lower. I don't really think this matters, but it's a buff. You could proc the passive on people sooner. And then the E, which is one of the main abilities that matters, is getting more damage reduction. I don't think that's the issue. I think they need to make the E last a little longer. Like, at the least, make it last a half second longer, at the most a second, and Braum will be better, I think. Like, Braum, for all he is, I don't think he's that good at protecting. Because a lot of his kit doesn't make sense to me, right? You Q to catch someone out, but then Braum goes in to, like, beat the shit out of them. But he's also incentivized to stand the carry with his W. He could jump on the carry, protect them. But he's incentivized to do two different things at that point. He's incentivized to go in. After he Qs, unless he ultis, he can't really get his passive on people unless he auto. So he's meant to go in. But then he's meant to block things, which, if you're in, you could block some stuff. But you ideally should be a protector, not an engager with Braum. And I feel like he has a split identity. I don't know. I feel like this doesn't... I mean, it's good, but it's not really what the problem is. I think his just identity is split. So basically what I'm saying is I don't really think it matters. Hecarim job. I think Hecarim is kind of whatever. I've been seeing some people play him a little bit more, but I still think he's just kind of ass. He's kind of like a one-trick ult pony, similar to what I said about Olaf. He's decently good early. I mean, he serves as like a better engage than Olaf does because he actually has a CC big ultimate. But overall, I think past the ultimate, I don't really care about Hecarim. Maybe the E is important too, but I would argue the E and the ult are like the only things I really care about when I see this champion. I don't really care about anything else. He doesn't do enough damage later on to matter. Excuse me. The most it is, wow, he's a little tanky and he's annoying to kill, and he'll CC me and maybe catch me out, but that's it. So let's see what they're doing. Hecarim is heckin' weak after the last set of nerfs targeting his tank build. We're helping him get his hooves back. I feel like this is becoming a Varus situation where they're going back and forth with this fuck, while being careful to avoid reintroducing his one-shot E build by buffing his item scaling and increasing the horsepower behind his key survivability skill to more evenly distribute la 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 la. This should help Hecarim find out no one cares. What are they doing? So, the physical damage is going up in scaling. So you're incentivized to build a little bit more damage. Okay. And then the W cooldown is going down, which I think is good. I honestly think one of the big changes, and I don't know why Riot hates doing this, especially with Asol, even though they're reworking him at this point. They either need to make the Hecarim's W a very low cooldown, or just make it a toggle. Honestly, just make it a toggle. I think he would be a lot more fun that way, but then he kind of steps on some other person's toes, which might be in this patch, might not. But a little hint, it's Raven, man. Anyway, Master Yi. I think Master Yi is pretty good. I think the buffs they gave him, I don't know if it was the last patch or the patch before. I think it was the patch before. It made Yi OP to where they had to hotfix him. Like, he was ridiculous. And I think that's good. I think Yi should be one of those champions that's simple but fun. Like Tryndamere. I always go back to Tryndamere. But Yi is just so simple and fun. You just auto someone and you cleave them and they die. Yeah, you're squishy, but like they die if you're good. And Yi has outplay potential. So like there's ways Yi can survive. But in general, he's like the assassin who's gonna just like melt you. I really like Yi's like whole gameplay style. So anyway, the Wuju Bladesman has gotten a little too fast at killing his enemies, wouldn't you know? When you give someone with true damage, you know, all these buffs. Especially in late game, which is what he's supposed to do. We're reducing his DPS scaling to slow him down and give his foes a chance to keep up. So the attack speed is going a little bit down, but I don't think that matters. You're getting lethal on him anyway. I think this is fine. I mean, it's a nerf. It's going to hurt a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not Cowsup. I think it's fine. Nidalee, this person should be reduced. She is hot ass. Nidalee's been catching prey left and right because of her spell output. So for the people who can aim, which is almost no one, so they're nerfing her base health. This shit fucking sucks. Nidalee sucks. Pike. Oh mama. This one is crazy too. Isn't this an update? I feel like this is an update, but anyway, let's see. This is crazy. If they kept it the same, this is actually gonna be crazy. Excuse me. Passive gray health conversion increased, so he's more survivable. Q mana cost increased, so he can't spam it. Mana refund increased, so if he doesn't use it, it's okay. Now refunds mana upon hitting an enemy champion, so if you actually land it, it's better. R cooldown decreased, your cut opportunities reduced. What? What the hell is your cut? Let me see. Pike's been a little bone skewed towards mid ever since the changes long ago. Yeah, he's a mid laner now. A support who's a mid laner. What a surprise. So we're reverting them to bringing the Bloodwater Ripper back to bottom. We're also adjusting some other parts of his kit. So what are they doing? Damage converted to gray health is going up from 40% to 45%, plus it scales off lethality. I actually didn't know it scaled off lethality. Holy shit. Okay. And then the Q. Wait, are they not doing the change? Wow, they're not doing it. I'll go over it after, but wow, they're not doing it. So, the Bone Skewer now refunds mana upon hitting a champion, but it costs a lot more now. Well, not a lot more, but a decent bit more. But you get more mana refunded if you don't use it, so. I don't know if that's enough to keep him out of mid. I don't know how bad Pike's mana costs are, but that's definitely a nerf, but it's not necessarily a nerf if you actually can land Q, so this doesn't really change Pike mid. If anything, it makes it somewhat better if you're good. Let's check the ult, though. So the cooldown on the ult is going down, right? 120, 80... Yep, it's going down. It's getting better. So what did they remove? Pike no longer receives your cut gold upon successfully executing enemy champions with his R. But the last assisting ally will. So they're removing how much gold he gains, which that's one of the main ways to nerf him mid. Bogo is no-go. Pike no longer receives additional year cut gold when allies kill enemies within deaths from below's execution area. I actually didn't realize that was a thing. Holy shit. Pike just got a lot of free shit. Holy fuck. But yeah, Pike's definitely worse in terms of gold generation, but I think he's still going to be played mid just because he can kill them early. And, I mean, it definitely hurts the gold not adding too much, but I don't think that's the main reason they played Pike. It was definitely a good reason, but it's not the main one. He was just very, like, kill-oriented. He's a very good champion at killing, especially early. Renata. So I kind of changed my opinion on this lady. I still think she's ass laning. However, I think there's two parts of her kits that matter. The Q does not fucking matter. Maybe it matters later on in the team fights, sure. The W is probably the thing that upsets me the most in lane, because it basically gives them a free second life, and out of lane too. The W is ridiculous. The W is honestly crazy. They might end up like reworking it or something in the future. I don't know, but like that W is like very, very dangerous. It's similar to Akshan. I remember when Akshan came out, and they're like, yeah, you know, he has a res mechanic that's like, what is Akshan shit? His W. It's literally his W too. Akshan's res mechanic is his W. So Renata's is also his W. But when Akshan's one came out, they had to justify and say, like, yeah, we're so careful. We'll be keeping a close eye on this. It's very dangerous to have this in the game, but we want to put it in. I feel like they did nothing with Renata's. Renata just gives people a free fucking res if they work for it, or get an assist. It's crazy. And then the E's useless, personally. And then the ulti is probably like the worst part in terms of frustration. And it works so well because I think Renata just ints in lane. I think Renata will go in lane and just int. But that helps her because then the enemy's fed and they kill each other better. It's crazy. Renata ult can honestly carry games. It's so crazy. So, they're probably nerfing her. Renata Glask is on her way to monopolizing bot lane at all levels of play, and business is really starting to boom in Elite. She's been getting a bit too much value out of her passive, whereas her return on investment for damage-oriented support items have been relatively low. Small adjustment towards AP item scaling should keep the balance. So her base armor is going down. She's a little bit squishy, which I don't know why she was so tanky to begin with. I mean, I know it's bot lane, but She's not a fucking tank. She's an old lady who wears nice, expensive clothes. How is she tanky? And then the passive. So, it goes from 1 to 3.5 to now 1 to 2. But it scales harder with AP. So you have to work for it more, which is good. And then additional magic damage against marked targets, if they're already marked, is lowered, but scales harder. I feel like this changes nothing. Okay, cool. She does less damage with her auto. Wow, her auto. Thanks, Riot. Her fucking auto attack. Get the fuck out of here. Alright, Renekton. What do I think of Renekton? I don't know. I never see him. I know when he's oppressive, he's oppressive. Thankfully, that hasn't been when the passes have been out, because I haven't seen his ass. I don't want to see his ass. Maybe he's weak. I feel like he's ass anyway compared to his brother. But I think he's a pretty decent, like, secondary tank in the late game. Like, he's a meat. There are characters in League that I refer to as meats, and Renekton is one of those meats. He is a big boy that takes resources. So, I think that's good. But let's see what they're going to do. I think he's a little weak. Renekton has largely disappeared from Pro after the fighter item changes. We're looking to add some scaling back into his da-da-da. So the base health is going up. Okay, they're making him more tanky. And the AD is going up, so they're making him do slightly more damage. The W cooldown is getting, nerfed early by 3 seconds. Jesus Christ. And then buffed late by 1, which I guess is good. Total damage is going up. Okay. I don't think you're maxing W, though. And then total damage when empowered is going up. Oh, my God. Okay. I don't think that solves the problem, though. I think he needs to be better early. I mean, having him be good in the mid-game is okay, but... And then the damage per second of the ult is a little higher. I think the damage per second of his ult should be higher, because it doesn't scale off their health like Nasus's does. Nasus's ult will always be good because it scales off their health, and it gives them, you know, fucking armor and health out the wazoo. This one gives a little bit of health and does more base damage, but it doesn't scale well, and it scales off fucking AP for Christ's sakes. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's something... I kind of see this as having a Sunfires. I think it's kind of negligible, but I don't play Renekton to know. I feel like it's not. And I feel like them buffing it by 10 to 20 to 30, I mean, it helps, I guess, but not really, because you don't even build AP. Like, who the fuck builds AP on Renekton? What AP item would you ever get to where this would help? This 10% scaling would help. You're not, unless you're trolling. So, I don't know. I think this doesn't really do anything to him. Why buff him for mid-game? Buff him early. But then he becomes an animal, so I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with him. Rengo. They went through with the new Rengar changes. I don't know how it landed. I don't see Rengar. I know he, like, scales off crit, I think, but I think he's kind of bad. So I'm pretty sure they have to buff him. Rengar's changes helped this kitty adapt a little too well. Oh, and now he's going top. Oh no, he's the top cat in the jungle. Okay. We're reverting a buff to his clear, and that buff only. They're making his clear slightly worse. They're nerfing the W. Later. This is stupid. This does nothing. Shiv! What do I think of Shiv? I think Shiv should just get a fucking rework at this point. She's cool, but she's not cool enough. I like how they made both her builds viable now, the AP and the AD build. And by what I mean by that is they made the Q viable. When you went AP build, it was literally just, okay, you're going to E, and that's it. That's the AP build. Now they made the AP build kind of matter with the Q. Not, you know, as much as an AD build would, but I think overall she's better for it. I think Shyvana is usable now, which is good. However, I don't think she's that good. So maybe a buff. We're introducing some quality of life changes and a batch of Star Wars. A batch of bug fixes to help Shyvana fans flames. So the damage tick is getting updated to be quicker. So it's still doing the same amount of damage. It's just proccing more often. So less damage in the proc, but more procs, basically. Equals same damage, but it feels better and it looks nicer. I like that. And then the E, the area of effect zone from Shyvana's E now applies marks to enemies that enter the zone. That is really good. That synergizes so well with what I was just talking about, how they changed her Q. That's really fucking good. That is great. That is really good. Great quality of life change. Amazing change. I would argue that's a buff. So, the boss is Sion. Have they gotten sick of the boss's strats? Are they going to nerf Sion? Let's see. Sion's been a bit too glorious in death. Okay. Although Inting Sion had a good run, yep, they're nerfing it, we believe it isn't a sustainable direction for him or League. I actually think the opposite. I think for you to be able to play Inting Sion, you have to really know the game well and have teammates that are good. I think Inting Sion is a skill to have, not something that's easily attainable. So I think Riot nerfing it is kind of taking away skill expression from a very unique champion, and I think this is stupid. So it's not the sustainable direction for him or League in the long term. False. Taking out towers by split pushing should certainly be doable one behind, but the strat requires repeatedly dying. It's not very fun for all parties involved. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's fun for the fucking enemy. They're beating the shit out of you. We're nerfing Undead Sion's split pushing power in order to restore some balance to his circle of life. Sion now deals 60% reduced damage to structures while in his passive. Wow, that is a big nerf. Rip the boss. The bows. Anyway, Thresh. I think Thresh sucks. He's very hard, and a lot of people don't like that he's hard, and there's not much of a payoff, as much. Although I still think Thresh is one of the best supports. If you can play Thresh good, it's really good, but not many people could do it or even want to do it. There's so many other supports that you could just click your AD and empower them, and there you go, you did your job. Thresh is like you have to do so much thinking. Thresh is like the try-hard support. Anyway, what is the value of a soul? Currently, not very much. Thus has fallen off quite a bit, particularly in average and skilled play. Damn, everywhere. So we're increasing his scaling power by making it more worthwhile to collect the essence of the dead. Gotta catch them all. I think that's one thing they did good with Senna and they did bad with Thresh. When you're Senna, when you collect souls, obviously you're gaining stats, right? Like, just by collecting the soul, you're getting AD per level. Well, not per level. You're getting flat AD, right? Which is good. But you don't notice it. It's the same thing with Thresh. You're gaining souls per level, but you don't notice what it's doing. It's having no tangible effect on the gameplay. It's boring. No one cares, right? However, the difference there with Senna is Senna actually has milestones that she gets, where she gets more things that actually change the gameplay in a visible way that is known. Thresh doesn't have that, and I think they should. They should add that. They should add, okay, at certain checkpoints, when you get a certain amount of souls, you get like a bonus of some sort. I mean, obviously it shouldn't be too OP, but honestly, maybe it should. I think Thresh should be one of the top supports, and he's already hard enough already, so unless they're just going to, like, over-stat buff him, which is the easiest thing they could do to any champion, I'd rather they make it unique and give Thresh passive, basically milestones to work towards like Senna has. And that would, I think, make him a lot better. And funner. At least with the passive. Because everything else about Thresh's kit has some sort of, like, active component where you have to think of when to use it. Maybe the ulti, not really, but like everything else, you really have to think hard of when to use it. It's not boring. Thresh's passive is the only boring part about his fucking kit, honestly. So they should redo his passive. Anyway. So let's see what they're doing. So the ability power and bonus armor per soul is going from 0.75 to 1. That's really good. Holy shit. And then the shield strength is going to be the same, but plus 2 per soul instead of plus 1. So you're essentially getting more value out of the souls, which is good, but I still think what I said is better. But Thresh is slightly better because of this. Slightly. You gotta remember, it's the power of compounding, right? This is what they teach you with interest. It might seem like little, but over time, it's a noticeable difference. It's 25% more. He's getting 25% more. Like, it's really good. So, we'll see how this change lands. I don't think many people are going to really use it more, though. Because it's not noticeable. Unless, like, they overbuff the numbers. Anyway, Varus. Varus is fucking ass. Varus has no clue what he is. I recommend watching the Varus video about Varus. Why is Varus, like, weird and stupid? It's a great video, and it basically says his kit is, like, stupid. Basically, just redo his kit. Varus has been relatively weak since his lethality nerfs. Yeah, because it's sad that that's the only thing good on him. We're buffing his on-hit builds. Why don't they buff his fucking crit? Stupid. I don't even know what Varus's purpose is. If you want someone who has, like, utility and engage, Varus is good, but I think personally I would take Ashe because she scales better. I like Ashe more than Varus. Varus is just weird, man. He's just weird. But anyway, what are they doing? So, bonus attack speed from killing minions is going up in the scaling with attack speed, which is whatever. The bonus attack speed on champion kills is going up by 10% instead of 5. I mean, you're getting more attack speed, which helps the on hit, but I don't know if it's enough, man. I don't think that's his issue. And then the bonus magic damage on hit is getting buffed. That's actually really good. I actually max W. I could see an argument for maxing W first, honestly. I think the W max first isn't too bad if you're going on hit. The Q doesn't matter because you're just using it to proc, you know, the W anyway, and the E is the E. Like, the E is okay. I could see an argument for maxing any of his abilities, though, honestly. I really like the passive on-hit damage the W provides. So, I mean, these are okay changes, but I think Varus just needs a mid-scope rework, honestly. I don't really understand why he's there. Except for, like, the same reason I said for Ashe, just to be an engage. But he doesn't scale as well as Ashe, so just use Ashe. If you like Varus, use Ashe. They both have long range, too. Anyway, are they removing, or not removing, are they nerfing Hullbreaker because of the boss Scion? Let's see. Hullbreaker is an important tool, but when rushed as a first item, which everyone fucking does, its bountiful bonus can invade it with a valuable addition, so like Zizarot. Hullbreaker requires champions to stay in the lane they're split pushing, so we're nerfing its early game potency. So, when you're alone, you're getting 10 until level 12. Oh, wow. So you're really getting less. Wow. Yeah, this does not give resists anymore. And then if you're ranged, you might as well not use this thing. If you're ranged, why are you using this thing? You're getting no really good benefit from this. And then only attacks deal 20% bonus damage against structures. Wow. Deal 20% bonus damage from all sources against structures. So every minion would do more. Damn. I feel like they nerfed this. Only attacks. Oh, from all sources. That might mean like some... I don't really know what else that could mean. What else that isn't an attack that deals damage to structures? I have no clue. This is weird, but I mean, whatever. Yeah, whatever. MSI Clash, no one cares. Client update, they removed the self-repair button because it was redundant. No one cares. Bug fixes, quality of life, no one cares. And now we get to the skins. So, again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I haven't seen a lot of their in-game stuff, which, you know, it is what it is. But I think that overall, these skins look amazing. I don't understand, personally, how the High Noon Leona one is a legendary. It's a good skin. I think it's not... I think the quality of legendaries has kind of gone down. They don't really have a gimmick anymore. Leona's gimmick, per se, is a stupid one. As she, I think, levels up or lands more abilities or something, she has, like, butterflies around her. But it's not, like, very visible. It's very faint, and it's stupid. Excuse me. If you want my opinion, they should have gave the legendary to Mord. Mord has, like, such an amazing skin. This is, in my opinion, on par, if not better than his legendary of Project. It's insane. It's insane how good this 1350 is. Granted, I haven't really seen the other ones besides Leona's, so I can't really say if they're good too, but it looks like they're good. High Noon has only gotten better, in my opinion. I think the beginnings of High Noon are like kind of the shittiest ones, and as time has gone on, High Noon has gotten better. Katarina looks hot. Varus and Talon look cool. There's a new Prestige Talon now, which is, you know, different from regular Talon, which is nice. And then the EDG skins. I mean, they're just sexy men. I mean, come on. Zoe looks cool too. I think all these skins are sexy as fuck. I'm so glad they made the world skins good. Like, the world skins used to be straight ass. Remember TPA? Yeah, I do. Like, these skins are so good. Like, Zoe is so freaking cute. I just think Zoe doesn't match the theme of the rest of them. They're all, like, very serious looking, like, hard men. And they're, like, you know, good looking men too. I mean, hey, I don't roll that way, but they're good looking men. And then Zoe's over here looking like all cutesy and like crazy anime girl. Like, I mean, I like it, but I don't think it fits, but I still like it. And then you have Yumi being like a really expensive cat. And Elune petting Aphelios. Overall, great skins though. I think all the skins here are good. I just think Leona shouldn't have gone to legendary. It should have went to Mord. Mord's skin, literally insane. He's fucking that guy too. Look at that guy. That guy's suffering. And then we have chromas and everything, and that's that. And the chromas for the EDG skins are really nice. Like, They completely inverted the theme. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Overall, great skins. Overall, I would honestly say, with the reworks of everything... Oh, okay, so I didn't go over what they changed with Pike, actually. Or what they were going to change. They were going to have, like, an infinite stacking execute. They were going to have his passive execute even without Targons. So that was, like, another execute on top of Targons that worked almost exactly like Targons, just with minions and wards. And every time he executed something, with or without Targons, just any execution at all, with his ult too, his execution threshold for his ult would increase. So he would gain a scaling threshold that could increase infinitely. It was crazy. It was so cool, and I'm sad they didn't add it. But overall, really good patch. Some stuff was like stupid, but honestly, I'm going to give this patch an 8 out of 10 just because of the reworks and the Scion nerfs, because fucking think Scion. But like overall, pretty fucking okay. Actually, not 8, 7.5. If they included the Pike changes, I would have given it an 8. And if they had some AD changes too, but ADs get nothing as usual. Except Varus, but I don't even consider him a fucking AD. So, overall, 7.5 Mark Merrills out of 10. Pretty okay patch, honestly. Pretty okay patch. A lot of things are changing. I wish a little bit more changed, but we got challenges. So, I'll just leave it at 7.5. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be back in 2 weeks when the pass comes out to go over those patch notes and actually finally play League of Legends again. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go continue to cry and be sad because I have mental issues, I think. Who knows? I'm too scared to go to a doctor. I'm out of here.